Hi, I'm Dr. Zoe, and here are 3 habits to trust and 3 myths to bust when it comes to supporting a healthy weight and long-term metabolic health. So let's start with the habits to trust. First, start by adding more whole foods to your plate. Rather than focusing on restriction, think about what you can include more of. Meals built around vegetables, fruits, legumes, whole grains, nuts and seeds naturally provide fibre, nutrients and volume that help you feel full and satisfied. When your plate is made up of whole foods, it often becomes easier for the body to regulate appetite and energy intake without needing to count calories. Second, prioritise fibre and protein at all meals. 2 of the most powerful nutrients for satiety are fibre and protein. Fibre feeds the gut microbiome, it slows digestion, and it stimulates natural GLP-1 hormone release when it reaches the final part of the gut. Protein also helps maintain muscle and it keeps you feeling fuller for longer. Combining the 2, for example, beans with vegetables, Greek yogurt with berries and nuts, or eggs with whole grain toast and greens, can support steady energy levels and reduce hunger between meals. And finally, make sure to include all food groups in your diet. Remember that balance is best. While it's true that we need smaller quantities of high-fat foods, they're still an essential part of a healthy diet. So don't be afraid of good fats like oily fish, olive oil, nuts and seeds, which are really good for you. And don't rely on low-fat products too much as an alternative because they're often packed with sugar and additives. Carbohydrates also provide essential nutrients, so they're not something to be avoided, though opting for whole grain options such as quinoa or having a roast sweet potato rather than rice or mash is an easy win. And what about the myths to bust? Well, first is that weight management is just about counting calories. Of course, calories matter, but they're not the whole story. So the type of food we eat influences hunger hormones, digestion, blood sugar, and the gut microbiome. If we're stressed, then our body will work to conserve energy too, so this also matters. I think that focusing only on numbers, it can miss the bigger picture. Improving the quality and composition of food often makes healthy eating far more sustainable than constant tracking. Second is the idea that portion control is the main solution. For many people, especially those living with long-standing obesity, simply trying to eat smaller portions can feel like a constant battle with hunger. You end up fighting your own biology and wrongly feeling as though the issue is all about willpower. So a more effective strategy is to change the composition of meals, increasing fibre-rich plants and adequate protein so that fullness comes more naturally. Make sure that you're well hydrated too, because the brain can interpret thirst as hunger. And finally, forget the idea that healthy eating should feel restrictive. A sustainable way of eating should feel nourishing and satisfying. It shouldn't feel like a punishment. When meals are built around diverse whole foods, so plenty of plants and good sources of protein, people often find that they feel more satisfied while still supporting their long-term health goals.